Good morning, everybody. I'm Pastor Vicki here alongside with Pastor Carl for today's Discover Verb devotional video, and we're going to keep it simple, talking about faith. All right, Pastor Carl, you showed us how to keep things simple in this complex world. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay,
what that looks like?
The acronym KISS, which is Keep It Simple, Saint. So, but in any case, I want to, because, a complex world, and a lot of times we put a lot of rules and regulations on us. And if you remember the story I had with Dallas Willard, you couldn't ask for a man who was more complex as far as theology and philosophy. He was head of the USC philosophy department, and he had a breadth and depth of knowledge. But when it came to helping people, what did he do? He helped people get to know Jesus better. That's keeping it simple. And for us too, that it doesn't matter if, as I said in the sermon, you're wandering in to look to see if you get a free cup of coffee and this is your first time in a church, or you've been here since we laid the cornerstone 60 years ago. It should be about getting to know Jesus better and doing things like signing up for life groups. It was Life Group Sunday. Doing things along the lines of with fellow believers of studying the Word, living it together. The life groups are great for that. And then the other thing I pointed out was just memorizing Scripture. Again, not so you can recite it. This isn't about recitals. This is about putting it in your heart. You might never get it word for word, but you'll get the sense of that Scripture in your heart, and it will form who you are, and it will draw you closer to Jesus.
Yes. All right. So we always like to explore how we can live our faith in the 160 hours of the week. So how does memorizing this Scripture and being a part of the life group help us live our faith in the 168 hours?
Okay. It helps you ask the question. There's a great, this is probably before your time, Vicki, but there was a great thing in the last century. This is so last century, but it's...
I graduated in the last century.
Well, still. This was, I think they even had bands. It's when these bands started, and it was WWJD. You remember that? What would Jesus do? Well, I'm not, there's nothing wrong with that. But, as I talked about in the sermon, and I talked about, in any relationship, that relationship works a lot better if you ask yourself, not how can I be that person, but what would that person have me do? What would that person want me to do? So how to live it out is to, and this is where memorizing Scripture, being with fellow Christians helps you ask this question: what would Jesus want me to do? At work, what, in this situation, what would Jesus want me to do? When this person comes up and wants to talk to me, and I feel like I'm a very busy person, what would Jesus want me to do? And to have that question at the top of your mind, again, because it draws you closer to Jesus yourself, and then you become a beacon that draws other people closer to Jesus.
Okay. So just constantly asking what God is having us do is one way that we live our faith in the 168. And
Absolutely.
By being a part of a life group, you have that support and that community that you love one another and you hold each other accountable and you celebrate with each other. So that's what we have for you today here at the Discover Verb. If you have any questions, just contact us through our social media channels and we'll get back to you with more information. You have a great day and we'll see you on Sunday.